All right, so I have been wanting to make this video for a while because it has really puzzled me, and as time goes on, I'm increasingly puzzled. And it's, what the heck is Xbox doing? It's so strange and bizarre to watch from over the last couple of years in this console generation of some of the things the CEO has said, some of the different tactics they've gone with. And now that Gears of War is officially released on PlayStation, one of their flagship titles, something that would be akin to an Uncharted for PlayStation or a Legend of Zelda for Nintendo, has been released on their competitor's system. I just had to make this video because it feels like at this point Xbox has given up. It feels like they are not in the competition for consoles anymore. It feels like they're not trying to be competitive anyway whatsoever, and I think it's bad for games. And there's several different reasons that I see this, and at the end of this video I want to go into why it's actually bad for the industry, that a lot of the price gouging you're seeing, a lot of the slow competitiveness with games releasing, all of that stuff I think actually is stemming from this. And so I want to dive into three big things that Xbox is doing that is showing that they've given up, and then why it's bad for the industry. So let's dive into it. So first off, and this was kind of the first time it really hit me that Xbox had given up, and it's their whole everything is an Xbox campaign. That Xbox has fully leaned into not being a game console, not being a place to play games. They have leaned into being a streaming service. That is what Xbox is leaning into. They don't care about exclusives. They don't care about hardware. They care about being a streaming service. And so, in turn, everything is an Xbox. Your phone is an Xbox. Your laptop is an Xbox. Your Xbox is an Xbox. And now even your PlayStation is an Xbox. And I think that this mindset of them pursuing being a streaming service is silly. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's what most consumers want, and it's hurting the gaming industry. But they have essentially clearly told us on multiple occasions that they've given up on being a console that you want to buy to play great games at. And they have told us that they actually do not want you to buy their console, do not need you to buy their console. Instead, they want you to subscribe to their streaming service. And I think that that's incredibly disappointing because they've given up in that area. The second thing is that they think exclusives are a waste of time. The CEO has flat out said this, essentially. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he said exclusives are a waste of time. He thinks exclusive games are a waste of time, that gamers don't really care about exclusives, that it's not something that the modern gamer cares about anymore. And I think that that's an absolutely insane thing to say. That to think that people are not purchasing a Nintendo Switch 2 because they want to play Zelda, because they want to play Mario Kart, because they want to play Donkey Kong is crazy. People aren't buying a Switch 2 so that they can play a poorly ported version of the Arkham games. They're buying it for the exclusives. In the same way, Sony has built their entire brand. They dominated the last console generation because of their exclusives, that they made stellar games with compelling stories, great acting, great soundtracks, great gameplay that brought gamers in. And the reason why this console generation that we're currently in has felt so deflating for gamers is they were pursuing lots of live service stuff that nobody wanted. And because the exclusives weren't to the level that people wanted them at. And so this whole perspective that Xbox has that exclusives are a waste of time is bafflingly confusing. It is so bizarre. And Xbox went out and purchased all of these big major studios that I thought were really going to make them competitive, because after they lost the last console race with the Xbox One and the PS4, it seemed like they were taking big swings to get themselves back in the game. I thought for sure that the only way you could play Call of Duty was if you owned an Xbox. That the only way you could play Minecraft is if you owned an Xbox. That the only way you could play Indiana Jones is if you bought an Xbox. And none of that has been true. That Call of Duty is on all the consoles. Minecraft is on all the consoles. Indiana Jones was released on all of the consoles. And all of these great exclusive games that could have brought gamers to Xbox, they've intentionally chosen to not do so. Because again, they don't think exclusives are why people buy consoles. They don't think exclusives help them as a company. They think exclusives are a waste of time. And then lastly, and this is when it made it clear to me that Xbox has fully given up, and it was when Gears of War released on PlayStation. And to go back with you guys, Gears of War being on PlayStation is an insane deal. That in the Xbox 360 era, when Xbox was at its peak and it was absolutely dominating, there were two franchises that were the faces of Xbox. It's Halo and it was Gears. And the fact that that has now been done away with is crazy. I think that the face of PlayStation right now is probably God of War or The Last of Us. And I know both have released on PC, but I feel like PC is a different market. But can you imagine if The Last of Us or God of War was released on Xbox? If the remastered version of The Last of Us dropped on Xbox, do you know how crazy that would be? Or The Legend of Zelda or Mario, if that was brought over to PlayStation, do you know how insane that would be? And do you not think that gamers knowing that they could play the next Legend of Zelda on a PlayStation would affect Nintendo Switch 2 sales? Do you not think that there would be a correlation between the two? 100% there would be. But Xbox does not care. They do not think that they need that on their console to sell consoles, because again, they're not interested in selling consoles. At this point, they see themselves as a big umbrella game developer who wants to make a really good streaming service. And I think it's ruining gaming. And so here's my conclusion as to why it's ruining gaming, for a few reasons. One, they've canceled so many of the studios they've bought, that because they're not releasing these games and they're not pumping them out and they don't care about exclusives and they don't care about this, that, and the other thing, there have been so many game studios that they have purchased that they have just shut down. Entire game studios were done away with during this whole nonsensical period. Number two, not having competition is always a bad thing. When there is only one gas station in a town, that gas station can charge whatever price it wants for gas, and that town has to pay it. And you're seeing it now. That the Nintendo Switch 2 is in its own league that no one else is really competing with. And you could argue that the Steam Deck is, but its sales are nowhere remotely close to the Switch 2's. It's not competing with Switch 2. That the Switch is in its own category. Nintendo's doing its own thing that it can have a monopoly of. And now what Xbox has done is it's allowed PlayStation to do the same. That PlayStation doesn't have a direct competitor. That there is no beefy powerhouse console that is releasing games that are only available on that console that will drive people to want to have to pick between that console or PlayStation. That now PlayStation knows Xbox games are coming to PlayStation. No need to compete. And they're the ones who own all of these exclusives that people are buying PlayStation for. And so now they can charge whatever price they want. They can take as long as they want on these games. There's no competition to pump things out. There's no competition to lower the prices of consoles. Because again, Xbox has made it clear they are not in the business of selling consoles. Everything is an Xbox. And so you're seeing for the first time in gaming history that prices for game consoles, as they're getting older, are not going down and getting discounted. The prices are going up, and they're going up significantly, and that's because they can. Because they know, as PlayStation, they don't have to compete in pricing range between will you buy an Xbox or will you buy a PlayStation. Now they go, there's no reason to buy an Xbox. Everything's an Xbox. We can charge whatever we want because Xbox games are already on PlayStation. What's not on an Xbox, what's not on a PC often is our exclusive games. And so let's charge whatever we want. And they can. And this is very bad for gamers. That Xbox giving up is not a good thing. Xbox becoming a streaming service is not a good thing. It's not good for the industry. It is not good for us as gamers. That right now it seems good, it will not be good. And in the same way that us switching over to streaming has caused a whole bunch of issues, those same issues, if Xbox continues in this, will be caused over at Microsoft. and them not getting in the game of consoles, which isn't going to fade away like DVD sales, is going to be a huge issue. Because PlayStation will become such a juggernaut on that side of the console space. And again, the Switch is doing its own thing that no one else is competing with, that those two companies can kind of do whatever they want because there is no competition. And that is never a good thing for consumers. And so PlayStation and Nintendo and all these companies gouging out prices isn't necessarily Xbox's fault. They still have to take ownership of that. But Xbox is making them able to do it and making it that they can do it and laugh because they know everyone will pay it, because what are their other options? What other gas station they're going to go to? We're the only gas station in town. And that is a bad thing for gamers. But with all that, I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts. Do you agree with my analysis? How have you felt in watching Xbox? Have you felt as confused as I have? Is like, what are they doing? And do you see the correlations between some of the trends we're seeing in the gaming industry with price gouging, with price increases, all that different stuff, and Xbox jumping out of being competitive with PlayStation? Or do you think there's no correlation at all? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that junk, and I will see you guys in the next one.